Army Irish, welcome aboard again. We've had a bit of a hiatus in getting things done on Little Bear. Seems that the weatherman didn't appreciate being mocked, so he sent a windstorm. About 1.5 million people in the area were without power for a couple of days, including yours truly, the dread pirate. Now, I'm not averse to a little rough seas, if you know what I mean, but it's amazing what you miss when the power's out. Oh, yeah. So, bring you up to speed. Done a bunch of work, got all the teak cap rails off, haven't removed any of the gunk under them. I had to cover the bulwark in plastic to keep the rain out, because there was rain associated with that storm. Didn't get any rain in the boat, which is a good thing. Then I proceeded to move on to the rudder cheeks. Cheeky little buggers they were. And oh, what a challenge they were. Let me tell you, I haven't finished them yet. Reason being that the rudder cheeks have about 10 bolts through the rudder. And when the land monkey, good friend of mine, make a good pirate, does geocaching, which is kind of like treasure hunting, only without a boat. Anyway, back to the point. He bashed the nuts on the rudder cheeks, pushed the bolts out, and I, in my naive little imagination, imagined that the cheeks would just fall right off. No. Nothing ever works like that in boat land. No, it doesn't. The cheeks were pretty much welded to the rudder with the devil's glue. I believe it was perhaps 5200, made by an evil satanic company called three something or the other. Yeah, I can't quite remember, but I used an axe head and a big heavy hammer, and I drove that axe head between the rudder and the cheeks, and they would not come off. Enchanted they were. Arr. But I did manage to split the wood of the cheeks, old plywood, if you will, and I got the bulk of the wood off. However, I am left with the remnants, which I am going to have to take off with a different approach. And that's today's project. I'll probably end up using the famed Multimaster, and I'll take that to the remaining bits of wood, and hopefully whatever remains of the devil's glue underneath it, and just clean the thing up. There's lots more to do on the boat, but one day at a time, we'll get her done. In the meantime, we're having fun. And it's a long weekend approaching. So, yeah, we're going to enjoy that. Oh, yes, we are. So here you can see what remains of the rudder cheeks. That steel plate, stainless steel plate, is actually what holds the tiller to the rudder and gives it the strength to turn. The cheeks, I think, are mostly cosmetic, but here you can see that the plywood split when I tried to ram the axe head up underneath there. Plywood split, and I got to get the remainder off. This side is even worse. It's much thicker here. And up there on the stainless steel, you can see whatever material that was they used, the devil's glue. That's what I'm doing today. Another day, another lesson learned. I managed to get the remnants of the rudder cheeks off the rudder, but a bit of a surprise as to why it was so difficult. Here, have a look. You see the outline of the rudder cheek here. That's because, on this side too, whoever built this realized that the surface of the rudder was uneven, and a flat piece of wood wouldn't sit flat on an uneven surface. So I think they used 5200 as a bedding compound. Now 5200 is great stuff. It does exactly what it's designed to do, but when you decide you don't need it anymore, oh my word, it's tough to get off. I started using my Fane tool with just a scraper blade on it, and it was basically burning through the 5200. And then because I couldn't actually see the angle of the tool as I was trying to jam it up underneath, it was actually digging into the fiberglass. If you look on this side up here, you can see where I started at the bottom, worked my way up, and chewed really badly into the fiberglass. That'll be something I have to fix. So then what I did was I switched to the old standby, the old faithful DeWalt 5-inch angle grinder, and I put a 36 grit disc on it, and I just ground off the remaining plywood until I got down to the bedding, I guess you call it. So there's sawdust all over the place. I'm covered in it too. My work clothes I just changed out of her, just covered in it. But we got her done. You can see that the cheeks are off. The bracket up there, I'm not going to even attempt to take that off. I expect that's probably put on there with the same 5200. And I don't want to wreck the bracket. I don't want to wreck the rudder. So we'll just leave as is. We'll clean it up on site, right where it is. And we'll try and figure out an approach to redoing the fiberglass and the bedding when it comes time to put those cheeks back on. Managed to save one intact to use as a template for the new cheeks when it comes time to get in the wood and putting those on. The originals were plywood. I'm going to probably take solid ash. I'll take some planks and glue them together, and then I'll epoxy them and mount them on the rudder. Hopefully they look good. Anyway, it's time for me to go home. It's Friday night. I've got supper waiting. Jed Pirate Admiral is desperate to see me, so I'm going to go home and have a good evening, and see you next time. Fair winds following seas, and God bless.